Matthew Perry's ex-girlfriend and former assistant claims that his breakup with Rachel Dunn saw him spiral into addiction. In an exclusive interview with the Mirror US, Katie Edwards says his split from Rachel, whom he dated from 2003 to 2005, was a big regret for him. He once described her as the ex-girlfriend of his dreams. While they only dated for 2 years, Matthew included her as a beneficiary in his will. Katie explained. He loved her so much. She was his one and only girl. I don't know what happened and why they broke up, but I know that he was the happiest with her. She went on to add. Afterwards, he lived with a lot of regret. Their love was very simple, and she loved him before he was huge and he just spiraled afterwards. Katie dated the Friends star in 2006 before going to work as his assistant in 2011. They remained friends right up until his death aged 54, in October 2023. She says he wished he could have tied the knot, adding, I think that he regrets not marrying her. I know that he wanted kids, and I think that he struggled with time flying by. He hadn't tackled some milestones that he wanted to, she says. Katie continued. If you go back to when they dated, you could see, just in pictures of his face, of how content and happy he was. But it all started spiraling after his breakup with her. And they say everybody has a kind of trigger or turning point in their addiction where you just didn't care anymore. And I'm pretty sure that breakup kind of started it. It comes as Katie says the actor had a massive network of dodgy doctors and nurses illegally supplying him drugs for more than a decade. She adds, there's a whole network of people beyond those facing criminal charges who the police need to investigate. Detectives need only delve back into his medical history. There are so many more doctors who have been on his books over the years who will be terrified right now. Whenever he was in active addiction, he knew instantly where to turn. It's a scandal. She was speaking out after Perry's live-in assistant, 2 doctors and a woman dubbed the Ketamine Queen, were among 5 people charged following an investigation into the actor's death. But Katie, who is the step-granddaughter of British actress Julie Andrews, said that his links to doctors go back years, although his choice of drugs had changed. Ketamine was his new thing, but it all started with unscrupulous doctors oversubscribing prescription pills like Vicodin. She says, when the charges dropped, I knew they would be doctors, because that was what he always did. I was not surprised. His addictive brain would think, well, it was prescribed from a doctor so I can take it. In his head, it wasn't like he was out on the street, scoring drugs. She also says there are serious questions as to why no drugs or paraphernalia were found at the scene. If you have given him a big shot, there would be a needle and evidence of ketamine in the house. Where did it all go? Why did the assistant shoot him up with all those drugs and leave, she says. I always stayed with Matthew if he was taking drugs, as I didn't want him to OD, or anything to happen. I could call 911. But why wasn't his assistant there? Investigators told how Dr. Salvador Plasencia conspired with fellow medic Mark Chavez to supply the actor with large amounts of ketamine, writing in a message, I wonder how much this moron will pay, and let's find out. His assistant Kenneth Iwamasa has already pleaded guilty to conspiring to distribute ketamine causing death, admitting to repeatedly injecting Perry with ketamine without medical training. Iwamasa, 59, pleaded guilty to conspiring to distribute ketamine causing death, while Chavez, 54, has pleaded guilty to conspiracy to distribute ketamine. Plasencia, who is charged with conspiracy to distribute ketamine, 7 counts of distribution of ketamine, and 2 charges related to allegations he falsified documents during the investigation into Perry's death, pleaded not guilty.